6 separate shootings in 26 hours, and now 5 people are dead. Today, Sacramento police are working to find and arrest those responsible. Gunfire erupting in the streets of Sacramento over the weekend, now raising major questions about why so many shootings happened so close together. Thanks for joining us here for Fox 40 News at 4. I'm Riley Carroll. Fox 40's Claudette Stefanian joins us now live from Midtown with the latest. Claudette, what do you know?
Riley, good afternoon to you. As you can imagine, these shootings have really shook up the community. And right now we know that law enforcement, they're in the middle of their investigations, of course, trying to get a little bit closer to getting the people responsible behind bars. Now, right now, I can tell you we're over here in Midtown. This is one of the locations where gunfire broke out. We know that 2 people ended up getting hit by gunfire, and one of those individuals ended up dying from their injuries. But of course, this wasn't the only shooting to happen. And the one thing I do want to note again, this is a very, very busy part of town. A lot of people walk around this area, and this wasn't the only area that is busy that saw gunfire break out. Let's take you out to that map so we can walk you through all of these details. Now, as you take a look at this, these shootings happened near one another and mainly within city limits, hours apart. Let's go ahead and walk you through each detail of these shootings. Now, on Saturday, before 1 in the morning, Sacramento police responded to the 2400 block of J Street over reports of a shooting and found 2 people hit by gunfire. 1 person died from their injuries. Later that morning, around 7, a man identified by deputies as a gang associate was shot several times and at least once in the face in the parking lot of a Valero gas station. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. By the evening, shots would be fired again about 3 miles south along the 3100 block of Occidental Drive. A woman would be struck by at least 1 bullet and killed. About an hour later, we would then find a 12-year-old boy would be struck and killed by gunfire, but the gun violence wouldn't stop there. By 2 in the morning on Sunday, a man died from a shooting along Seamus Drive, and 1 hour later, we would then learn about another person who would die from their injuries. We asked the sheriff's office about these shootings and how they happened in popular areas. While they only handled the Valero gas station shooting, they had this to say.
I mean, growing up, you'd hear about these shootings in, quote unquote, seedy parts of town, late at night, dark alleys and that. And the big shift that we're seeing right now is how brazen they are. They're happening in the middle of the day, some in the middle of the afternoon, busy shopping center in the middle of a gas station, crowded gas station. So they aren't taking into account about worrying about being caught anymore.
Now, Riley, as we break down this information, we know that the shooting that happened at the Valero gas station, that is being confirmed by authorities as a gang-related shooting. But then when I reached out to Sacramento police asking about their specific investigations, if they had found out if those were gang-related, they said that they did not have any confirmed information. So as I mentioned, they are still deep in their investigations, trying to inch a little bit closer to gathering more information. As those developments come through, we'll keep you posted with the latest. Reporting live from Midtown, covering local news that matters. Claudette Stefanian, Fox 40 News.
All right, Claudette, thanks so much for breaking that all down for us.